and he can afford it because of the team that he used to play, of that speech that we saw. Goosebumps. Goosebumps. I don't know for you guys. I mean, this is the things that sometimes you need in the game to get you going if you're in a difficult situation. And he's also the captain. In my mind, he's helping the manager with the tactics and the way the team plays. But as I said, he earned it. The way he used to carry himself on the pitch, still carry himself on the pitch. And that's why I'm so impressed that he's still going strong at 40 years old. Unbelievable.
It really is.
No, I mean, I feel like the game goes in slow motion for him. You know, he's world class. He's like a Rolls Royce in the back. You know, I played against him my first year at Palace, and it was fantastic. You know, I felt like a fan on the field. So I'm expecting big from him today, but I know that he can handle it.
I just think that, you know, what we just showed typifies the type of player that he is, because still he has all the experience, but you have to perform on the field, and he's earned not only because of the places that he has played, Chelsea, PSG, Milan, etc., but he still performed at his best. I think he's elite positional discipline, his leadership, he's a master of managing a space rather than chase people, his composure in the ball. He's an unbelievable player still at 40 years old, and he wants to. He wants his team to live the present, the now, the today, because this is a game that they won't have tomorrow. So they want to win it and make history for the football club.
Yeah, and definitely heavy underdogs in this competition, but it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Let's take a look at Fluminense's lineup for this one. We mentioned Thiago Silva. He said, you could call this the final stage of my career, but I'm still living in important moments. He said that a couple days ago, but it's going to be very important for him with no Juan Pablo Friedis in the back. He's played every single minute so far for the defensive unit of this Fluminense team. How do they adjust, Chris, without a guy like this? Thiago Silva is a big guy to step up here.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think as a back line, you always want to gain as much chemistry as possible, but I think when somebody has to leave, the next person has to step up. So, you know, I think, again, Thiago Silva is the anchor for the back line, but I know that he'll have everybody around him working well as well.
And I know, oh, you want to go?
No, I'm saying that, you know, today in the lineup, it'll be important, the addition to René, because that matchup between Netto, Gusto, and René will be very interesting because he can go forward, but he still have to track these players that will definitely push him.
Yeah, and I know John Arias is going to be a really big piece of this too, right?
As always. I mean, that guy is on fire, and I'm not going to be surprised if big things are coming for him after the tournament. But not only that, as a unit, now they need to defend as five, as always. That's going to be more easy for Thiago Silva to help him. Of course, his intelligence and reading of the game will help the team, giving the orders around the pitch. But when going up front, Arias is the main threat because with quick feet, tight spaces, he can get out, pass, shoot, score.
Yeah, Chelsea's been scoring a lot of goals in this competition, but Fluminense's defense has been spectacular. You want to say something?
No, I have to agree with Imi. Arias is arguably one of the best players at this tournament. What he adds to this team in both phases, defensively and offensively, just as spectacular. He's good carrying the ball. He's good in 1v1. He has space. He can set up goals, but he also links out very well because he normally starts on the right as a winger, but he shifts to the middle just to play off. In this case, Nonato and Cano, and he does it ever so well. And he adds to his game something what we didn't see, which is the free kicks ability. He's got an unbelievable goal early in the tournament.
Yeah, 13 shots and 17 chances in the tournament so far. He's been one of the best players across every single team that we've seen. Let's hear from the coach Renato Gaucho before this game.
Against Chelsea, por último, Renato, o que é a chave para o Fluminense sair com a vitória hoje contra o Chelsea?
É um jogo xadrez, tem que ter muita tranquilidade. A gente sabe que o jogo é muito difícil, tanto para a gente como para eles. Procurar valorizar bastante a posse de bola, está muito quente. Como já falei, eu estudei bastante o adversário. Vamos procurar neutralizar as principais jogadas deles, mas sem dúvida alguma com a bola também a gente vai jogar como a gente tem feito nessa Copa do Mundo.
Renato, muito obrigado. Renato over here just basically said that he understands it's going to be a difficult game, not only for Fluminense, but Chelsea as well, and the weather is going to be an absolute big factor. And lastly, he just kind of added that he has a game plan, they're going to go for it, and they need to neutralize this strong attack from Chelsea.
The atmosphere is heating up here. The fans are starting to pour in. It's getting hot, and I know it's definitely hot out on the pitch. We're going to send it back to Mel and Mo. What are you most looking forward to on the Fluminense side? Obviously an underdog in this one, guys, but they've exceeded expectations throughout this part of the tournament.
Absolutely. Fluminense, a team that absorbs so much pressure. They're dangerous. They're clinical in the attack. But you wanted to speak about one player, and that's because Martinelli's out with a yellow card. Replacing him is
Hercules, of course. This is a player, when we speak about earning a moment, this is a player that's done that this tournament. We're talking 2 substitute appearances in the past 2 games, and 2 goals have come out of it. He's not typically a goal scorer, he only scored 3 goals right now for Fluminense. But that's the thing, when a coach gives you an opportunity, you want to deliver, and he's been able to do that. That's offensively, but defensively, he's also got a big job on his hands today. We know that midfield with Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer, when he drops in, and Moses Caicedo, they're going to dominate the ball. We expect, Chelsea to have the majority of the ball today, so he's going to be important on both ends of the ball.
And when you're going against a team like Chelsea with all those attacking, you know what you need to have? A really good goalkeeper. And that's an experienced one of Fabio, the 44-year-old. He has the second highest stats-wise of goals prevented in this Club World Cup, and he has done a phenomenal job shot-stopping, but also with distribution. Today's going to be a very important game today.
It's going to be very busy.
Oh yeah, very busy. It's going to be hot where he is. But definitely being able to support the back line, whether it's in distribution, but also communicating to the back line, because that back line of 5, they're going to have to absorb a ton of pressure, and especially with Moises Caicedo from Chelsea leading that engine in the midfield, giving those balls to Cole Palmer as well. I think Fabio is going to definitely have a lot to do today. Now, in terms of their attacking end, I know they spoke a lot about John Arias, but is there any other player that really stands out to you that can have a big match tonight?
Joe Meccano for me. He's a player that's already scored in this tournament. I know he had a couple chances against Halauta. If he was a little bit more clinical, I think he would have obviously increased his tally for the tournament. But another thing, I have to speak about John Arias and add more in terms of that, because he's a player that is so unpredictable in the way he plays. We've seen him pop up on centrally and then he's out right on the left. And I think especially the way Chelsea play with the inverted fullbacks, maybe if Cucurella does go inside, that's another space where he'll be looking to capitalise.
Yeah, absolutely, especially on set pieces for sure. All right, Lauren, I need to get some sweat off my face a little bit, so throw it back to you.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. No, they mentioned Fabio. This guy is an absolute stud. He's almost 45 years old. About Thiago Silva being 45 years old.
To give credit what credit is due, he have a great tournament so far. This is when you have someone in the goal and you have someone in front of you who is also experienced. It gives more credibility to the whole team. So the young players, not so experienced one, can speak, can learn, can ask questions. And the way he's carrying himself during the tournament, it gives extra belief to the team that even if something does go in towards him, he can handle it.
He's 7 months younger than Enzo Maresca. Kidding me? Yes, 7 months younger.
That's not that long.
But listen, when we talk about Fluminense, this is a team full of experience. And when you have your spine, you have the goalkeeper, the best central defender, John Arias, and then Ezequiel Cano. They're all full of experience, so you need those young players. But in matches like this, you always want to have those big players talking to you, helping you through the difficult moments that you normally experience during the games.
Definitely. I think when you look back behind you and you see players with that much experience, it makes the game a lot easier for you. It makes you a lot more confident. And I think when your goalie has, 507 odd clean sheets, I think it really gives you a lot of confidence.
To him,
yeah. Exactly. So, I think they have a good spine, like we said earlier, but, it's going to take a big game today. Big game to beat Chelsea.
A really big game, but they've had some big performances so far throughout all of these rounds, now in the semifinals. Time to take our next break here. Coming up on the flip side, we break down Chelsea and their experience, what they're bringing to the pitch today. We'll be right back.
But if he end up one-on-one against João Pedro Netto, he's going to have problems because of his age, speed. Not up there as well
I think has helped him a lot just
because he reads the game really well.
absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
Definitely, I mean, Thiago Silva's going to pick and choose his times when to pop out and when not to. I mean, that's one of the reasons why he's still playing today. You know? He saved his legs because he's smart. So for me, I think he's going to captain that back line really well and make sure that everybody around him is sorted and organized.
40 years young, aging like a fine wine, you guys, at 40 years young. They got the experience and the veteran leadership. We'll see how this one plays out. We got more coming up after this. Fluminense, Chelsea is just 15, 20 minutes away. We'll be right back.
today is going to be very interesting because very different tactical matchups today. Fluminense, you have to be structured, disciplined, patient, conservative at times, and very effective every time they have the chance to corner. And a Chelsea team that we're expecting to dominate possession, very dangerous in transitions, high press, and very, very dangerous in set pieces.
As an American, I think we all love an underdog story. So for me personally, I'm rooting for Fluminense today. Maybe it's because we're in their section as well, but I think overall, I'm really rooting for them today.
Are we all Fluminense fans today?
I don't know,
What's going on?
Come on.
Well, I know you can't root for Chelsea anyways because you play against them. No, but biggest thing for Fluminense to get the win today, obviously Thiago Silva going up against his former team. Yes, he's 40 years old, but he needs to pick and choose his places against a really good Chelsea offense. How do they defend Chelsea and their firepower up front?
How did Chelsea defend?
No, how does Fluminense defend Chelsea and their firepower?
As we spoke before, stay compact, stay compact. Listen to Thiago Silva and his experience, the way he controlled the defense, controlling everybody on the pitch. Obviously, Fabio as a goalkeeper with that experience also helped. And as I said, don't leave Thiago one-on-one with the quick players from Chelsea. That's going to be dangerous.
Just a quick question. So we're talking about Fluminense to be the underdog.
Yeah.
But we're all rooting for him.
Yeah.
So what is it? Is it the best team tonight or today or what?
I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening.
We would like to have, the fair story at the end.
Exactly. On the Chelsea side, though, they have a ton of firepower up front. They just added João Pedro, too. What do you think he adds to this team? Like, if you're defending him, how do you stop him?
I mean, he adds a little bit of that South American player up top. I think he's an aggressive player, a fast player, but also one who's not afraid to get physical. And I think when you're playing against a back line like Fluminense has today, you have to be physical and you have to be willing to take your opportunity when it comes.
And having a guy like Moses Caicedo back, too, I mean, he's one of the heartbeats in that center of the midfield.
As we have spoken throughout the conversation, he's adding something different to the game. Not only the ability just to run back and forth, box to box, but he's also the anchor. He's the one that protects the defender, the one that connects the attack. And he's a player that they need him today. Because if there's one player that is accustomed to this weather, it's him. So you need the engine of him, the ability to play. And also, sometimes he gets to the edge of the box and finish chances from distance, which is very important.
Yeah, he doesn't get tired.
Exactly.
He's up and down the pitch all day long. He can run, support the team, defend, sacrifice himself so the other can look good. And from time to time, he gets a chance to finish.
But listen, Dimi, the other part is, in games like this, that you expect that are very, very tight, that are defined just for minimum chances, you need to be very effective, very focused, and protect the set pieces. Set pieces, I think, are going to be crucial in this game.
Yeah, with Chelsea, their set pieces, they've been so good throughout this entire tournament.
No, definitely, they're a big team. I mean, even Trevor Chalabo, we played together at Palace, and he was our leading goal scorer at one point from set pieces. So, like you said, set pieces can be really big today. I'm really interested to see who's gonna be the player to kind of write their name in the stars today.
And I feel like when you get to this point of a tournament too, the semifinals, it comes down to the leadership. Who's gonna lead? Who's gonna step up in those moments where you feel like your backs are against the wall? I feel like Fluminense has so many of those experienced, I guess you could say older guys that are 40, 45 years old in Fabio, but how much does that help too?
It helps a lot because you know that you're going to face difficult moments throughout the game. It happens. It's just the nature of the game. But there's so many individual quality in these two teams, in particular in Chelsea. They do have, if you look at Palmer, Netto, João Pedro, they do have the ability, Enzo, Caicedo, they do have the ability that if you want with one play to change the face of the game. So that is important to have the likes of Fabio, Thiago, concentrate and help with the teammates to be very compact.
And for you, Cole Palmer, obviously he's been getting a ton of shots on goal, but he finally got one to go in. In the last game, he had 16 shots on goal throughout this entire tournament. How much does that feel like a weight's being lifted when you finally see one go into that?
Oh, he's not typical. He's not a center forward. He's not a striker, in my opinion. So for me, his primarily objective should be making chances for the other players, make them look good. Of course, through the process of making them look good, he also look good because he's creating chances. He uses the space, the half space, with that left foot of his and that calmness that he has in front of the goal. And when he gives that passes that slice the defense, he's very, very good at that, and that's why I like him.
I think word of the day today is patience. I think as a defense, Fluminense has to be patient, not jumping out of the line. I think Chelsea going forward also have to be patient with breaking the line. So it'll be interesting.
Gentlemen, Anything while you wait? Play for the Michelob Ultra?
Led by 40-year-old Thiago Silva, who has deep-rooted Chelsea connections. Today, his former team faces Brazilian opposition for the third time in the tournament and the second knockout game in a row after beating Palmeiras in the quarterfinals. It's Fluminense's veteran core against the youth of the Londoners.
So Fluminense have not lost in 11 matches, and they've been electrifying at times in their performances. But today, Luke, it's a clash between style and strategy, with both managers' philosophies on display. Chelsea, though, they will not be caught off guard once again like they were against Flamengo.
The referee today, Francois Letexier from France, 36-year-old who takes charge of his fourth Chelsea game and was referee at the 2024 European Championship final last year between Spain and England. From 32 clubs down to the final four, as we get the first Club World Cup semi-final underway here at MetLife Stadium. It's Chelsea kicking off, having beaten Palmeiras in Philadelphia by 2-1 in the quarter-final. Fluminense 2-1 winners against Al Hilal in Orlando to make it to this stage, yet to be beaten in the tournament. Fluminense with 4 changes from the quarter-final win against Al Hilal. Renato Gacho has Rene back from suspension. Guga gets the start, having come off the bench in that game a few days ago. Thiago Santos making his first start of the tournament, and Hercules into the lineup as well. He came on at half-time, replacing Martinelli, who is suspended today, and he scored against Al Hilal.
Yeah, the one player I'm keeping an eye on is the left-hand side of Thiago Silva in that back three. Thiago Santos, 35 years of age, and he's playing on that left-hand side. And with the suspension of Freitas early with that yellow card warning, this is going to be an interesting challenge to see what the shape and identity looks like defensively for Renato Gaucho.
Tosin at the back for Chelsea. Goes across to Chalobah. 3 changes in total made by Enzo Maresca today. And Tosin, one of them at the back. Moises Caicedo comes back from suspension, and João Pedro, a recent signing, makes his first start, having made his debut in the quarter-final. Reece James back on the bench today.
Yeah, Luke, a couple early adjustments that we've seen throughout the tournament for Enzo Maresca, with Nkunku popping in that central part, overloading with Caicedo and Enzo. The build-out out of the back is going to allow Malo Gusto width and height on that right-hand side.
Challenge from John Arias on Cucurella, and the free kick is given the way of Chelsea.
Cucurella combative and competitive over the course of the 90 minutes. You just wonder if that's an early message being sent by the Colombian international, John Arias.
Tosin making his 4th start of the tournament, finds Cucurella. Fluminense with 2 players starting every game of the tournament. Fabio in goal, one of them. John Arias is the other. He has been one of the standouts of this tournament so far. John Arias, he's played every minute. Colombian, 27 years old, with a goal and an assist so far.
You can already see Marc Cucurella right there flaring out and trying to apply the pressure on Guga. Where exactly his starting spot is, Arias loves to find pockets like this.
And Arias is away over halfway. He's got support wide to the left side. The cross comes in towards the edge of the area. Cano tries to strike it first time. He's on the right touchline. Gusto looking to bring it away down that far side here for Chelsea. Tosin finds Caicedo back into the starting lineup today. Moises Caicedo's 4th start of the tournament. The 23-year-old from Ecuador inside for Enzo Fernandez, and the Argentine midfielder all the way to the left in a first opportunity here for Pedro Netto down the left touchline to try and have a run at Guga. Paul Palmer. Palmer's cross in, and Fabio is able to claim, the 44-year-old goalkeeper. For a goal kick here for Fluminense. Fabio with 3 clean sheets in this tournament, the oldest player in the Club World Cup. 1,379 senior career appearances, and very much experience throughout this Fluminense side. While Enzo Maresca was talking yesterday about the youth of his Chelsea squad, one of the youngest squads in the Premier League and one of the youngest squads here.
Well, the one thing about Chelsea is you look and you see the depth is 22 to 27 years of age collectively in this starting 11, and it was capped off by not only a top 4 finish in the Champions League, but also a top 4 finish, the win against Real Betis in the Conference League. So this team has grown quite extensively throughout the course of the season, figuring out ways at home and on the road to win games.
Hercules driving forward, and he's got support from Guga wide on the right side. Blocked by Cucurella. Guga, the 26-year-old right wing back today, finds Hercules. His 4th start of the tournament. He's scored in the last 2 games. Back through Thiago Silva they go. What a story for Thiago Silva, the 40-year-old who spent 4 years with Chelsea before making the move last summer to Fluminense. Over 150 appearances for Chelsea. He won the Champions League in 2021, a club legend. Referee is giving the free kick here. Chelsea not happy with the decision.
Well, as Enzo goes into the challenge, he's left his legs, he's come through, and it's a bit of a scissor motion where the referee has an easier decision to blow that whistle. Cano checking back, feels the pressure from behind. But Enzo, not yellow card worthy early enough for just the talking to from the referee.
2 players out suspended for Chelsea today, Levi Colwill and Liam Delap, both missing the game. Second semi-final, 24 hours from now, between Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid. The final right here at MetLife Stadium to crown a Club World Cup champion on Sunday afternoon. Fluminense fans already in wonderful voice behind the goal that Fabio was defending in the first half. John Arias brings it forward. Guga down the right side. Cucurella trying to get back to defend, and the flag is up here. It's offside.
Yeah, he drifted in offside position, but the physicality of Cucurella takes the bump, and understanding that Arias, once that ball is played, Guga is in an offside position, but watch Cucurella as he turns and just puts a body on Arias as he tries to play through and get to that end line. Highly competitive, highly physical is the expectation between these two teams.
Chalobah, the England international, across the back through Tosin to Cucurella. Chelsea's 3rd Club World Cup appearance. They were the UEFA Champions League winners back in 2021.
It was interesting, Luke, listening to Enzo Maresca pregame talk about this low block of Fluminense. I think that's not a real descriptive conversation to be having about Fluminense, because as you can see, it's a 4-3-3 without the ball. They're starting on top of the center circle and not afraid to look to condense about 20 yards between the front line attackers 3 and this back 4/back 5 at times, trying to deal with the numbers flooding forward of Chelsea. Right now, it's about giving simple possession to the 2 center backs.
Tosin back into the side today, having come off injured 5 minutes into the second half of the round of 16 win against Benfica. Dropping deep there, João Pedro getting onto the ball. And now the new Chelsea acquisition with some space down that right side it goes.
Good turn.
Chalobah, who was on loan at Crystal Palace during the season. Cucurella down the left side. Netto cuts inside against Guga. And he's fouled. And a free kick coming here for Chelsea, about 10 yards outside the box.
Yeah, we'll see if Nonato gets a similar warning or a conversation from the referee of what we saw from Enzo's challenge a few minutes ago. He knows exactly what he's doing, leaves the leg in. He's overcommitted on the scissors from Pedro Netto, starting on this left-hand side as opposed to being on the right-hand side. Malo Gusto tilted really, really high, and Cuckoo in the pocket underneath. And right now, the back line of Fluminense having to figure out João Pedro or Cole Palmer. Who stays, who goes?
This one is taken quickly towards Cole Palmer, and he'll play this one towards the penalty spot. Chalobah was in there, couldn't get there. Cucurella climbs, but the header straight towards Fabio. Cucurella's 53rd appearance in all competitions this season. He's played it every minute in his 4 previous starts in the Club World Cup. Picked up by Fernandes. Down the left side, Netto. Back for Cucurella. Fernandes. Picked up by Cole Palmer. And Kunku. Lovely turn from Palmer against Bernal. Palmer swings that ball in and it comes across to the 6-yard box. Fabio has to punch it away under pressure. Cucurella steps in. John Arias battling for it, but out to the left for Pedro Netto once more from the ball forward by Tosin.
And once again, those dangerous second runs out of midfield. Enzo got his goal against LAFC, the second on the afternoon in the opening of the group stage at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. If you're not paying attention to the 24 Argentine, you can find yourself really tested across that back line of Fluminense.
Palmer, wide for Gusto. He's appeared in all 6 games. It's his 4th start, linking up with Nkunku. Bernal tries to get a foot in.
So 2 things happening with Nkunku. He's pulling Bernal deeper and deeper, and that's allowing Cole Palmer to peel off Hercules, who's paying attention to Enzo on his right-hand side. Cole Palmer's finding a lot of space when Nkunku's either off his left shoulder or pushing just a little bit higher parallel to João Pedro.
Chalobah. Nkunku back over halfway. Mentioned before that Reece James is available, having missed the last game through injury. He's on the bench today, as is Noni Madueke, who is currently being linked with a move to Arsenal. Enzo Maresca says he believes Madueke is still fully committed right now. This is Caicedo tracking forward down the right as it goes out to Gusto on the far side. Up against Rene. Gusto's cross into the middle, and Fernandes drives it in. Well, Pedro couldn't get there. Cucurella putting a pressure on Arias, does well to win it back.
That's a great
Santos away.
Yeah, it's a great press right there, a counter press from Chelsea, and it all starts with Marc Cucurella, the left back, pushing all the way through, stays with the run, gets stuck in on the tackle. And Chelsea right now doing a fantastic job, not only challenging for the first ball, more importantly, Luke, winning that second ball and recycling that possession. closer to Fabio's goal.
Chelsea finishing second in their group with 6 points. 1 point behind the group winners, Flamengo. Enzo Fernandez chasing this one, just unable to keep it in play at the byline. The flag was up anyway for offside, so it will be a free kick here for Fluminense. So Chelsea beat Palmeiras in the quarterfinals, lost against Flamengo the first time they played a Brazilian side in this tournament on match day 2, 3-1 in Philadelphia. Pedro Netto giving them an early lead in that one. 3 second-half goals from Flamengo. They had Nicholas Jackson sent off in that match.
Now, Luke, it's the third time in the first 13 minutes that Enzo Fernandez has had a little dip of the shoulder and left Hercules biting. They have to figure out not only the man-marking responsibility, but better communication and reaction. Proactive as opposed to reactive with dealing with that darting second run out of midfield for Chelsea.
Guga inside and played forward here towards halfway, where Herman Canoa is in a bit of a battle there with Tosin.
That's so smart. He's just leaning the entire time, and Tosin has the size advantage, has the strength advantage in terms of the comparison of the player profile. The 37-year-old knows exactly what he needs to do to try to bait the referee into blowing that whistle.
Herman Canoa with a goal and an assist so far. 37 years old from Argentina. Has appeared in every game. This is 5th start in a row. Enzo Fernandez trying to win it back here. Thiago Silva clips it up towards halfway, where Cucurella is in the battle with Guga. Nonato steps in there, John Arias as well. Nonato bringing it away, gets away from Caicedo, and there's space over on the left where René carries it forward. Back in the side after suspension. René's ball in, cleared away by Tosin, and out for a throw on the far side.
Well, the decision to go back to René after his return from suspension instead of Fuentes gives you width, gives you variation of service, and gives you a consistent outlet down that left-hand side for Fluminense.
Fuentes and Xavier dropping to the bench today for Fluminense. Freitas and Martinelli suspended. They had both started every game of the tournament up until this point. Freitas at the back, Martinelli in midfield. Scored the first goal in the last round against Al Hilal, a 2-1 win in Orlando. Al Hilal leveling that one just after half-time. Hercules, who is in the starting lineup today, was the match winner. We talked earlier on about Thiago Silva and the story surrounding him, but it's also a big day for João Pedro, who makes his first Chelsea start against his boyhood club. Came through the youth ranks at Fluminense. His mom moved with him to Rio at the age of 10 so that he could join their academy.
Well, Chris Richards doing a fantastic job in the descriptiveness of what João Pedro, the physical battles that he brings to the table. Obviously, his size and strength is an easy couple of bullet points, but the intelligence in which the 23-year-old interprets the position. 10 goals, 6 assists, 27 matches at Brighton. And think about heading into the off-season summer vacation and all of a sudden turning around, enjoying up at his first start for Chelsea against his boyhood club.
He was in Rio on vacation, but he said he kept a personal trainer close by and is ready to go, despite the fact that he was on his vacation in his native Brazil. And Nkunku steps away from Bernal and then gets the free kick.
I think the referee doing a good job of allowing the advantage to be played, and then secondarily the challenge that upends him is Thiago Santos, number 29, just sticking a leg in. Right now, this midfield battle, which we thought was going to be a huge one, definitely being dominated by Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez. What a fantastic season, playing so well. Neither's transfer fee even being a reference point in 2024, 2025.
Enzo Fernandez standing over it. Flipped in by Fernandez. Tosin was rising to try and get the head to it. It's wide. Flag up anyway for offside.
Oh, he's a big body and a big aerial threat, and in the pregame show, we talked about the art of the short corner, but we should also talk about the art of set pieces. It's deceptiveness, a bit of acting, and a good header one pushed just past the outside of that right post, but flagged in an offside position before getting to that header.
Well, this Sunday, the stage is set. The FIFA Club World Cup final live from MetLife Stadium. The winners of this match taking on either PSG or Real Madrid for ultimate glory. And coverage begins from 1:30 Eastern Time. Pedro Netto down the left side. Netto whips that ball into the middle, comes all the way out here, and an opportunity for the top corner. And a magnificent moment for João Pedro on his first start for Chelsea. A wonderful finish. And the new man makes an immediate impact.
$55 million spent by Chelsea Football Club to bring João Pedro, the 23-year-old, over from Brighton. And in the midst of a FIFA Club World Cup, not as he joined, but the 36-minute performance by Palmeiras, plus the suspension of Liam Delap, leads to his first start, an emotional one against his boyhood club. Combination play down the left-hand side, the hitch in his gait. Pedro Netto, isolated 1v1, swings the ball in first clearance, right into the foot of João Pedro. He sets himself up, and he has eyes. Far post, side net, just to the left of Fabio, full stretch. And what a phenomenal goal, his first for Chelsea.
Spectacular from João Pedro, and Chelsea have the advantage in the semi-final of the Club World Cup. Enzo Maresca handing João Pedro his first start today. Probably wouldn't have been in the starting lineup had Liam Delap not been suspended.
And maybe not the petulant red card taken from Nicholas Jackson against Flamengo as well.
Chelsea on top early as Fernandes turns. Cucurella down the left side, right in front of his manager Enzo Maresca, who patrols the edge of the technical area. Fluminense have been so good defensively. 5 clean sheets in their last 7 matches. 3 clean sheets at this tournament.
Great possession, great build out.
Cucurella down the left, finds Pedro Netto. Tosin. Caicedo. Just the 4th goal given up by Fluminense in this Club World Cup. Here's Enzo Fernandes. Down the left it goes to Pedro Netto. Running at Guga. Nicely done by Pedro Netto, and the header in straight at the keeper from Nkunku.
Well, it's a continued rotation for Enzo Maresca and the interpretation of what this group will give him with this starting 11. We've seen it with Reece James, now we've seen it with Gusto. He's starting as a right back, but he's tilted so high up this right-hand side that he's not only a secondary run, but he's a secondary late run at the back post that's going to give fits to Fluminense defensively.
In the round of 16 and the quarterfinals, 11 of the 12 teams who scored first went through. Chelsea in front here, the 18th minute goal, as this one is played over the top. Cole Palmer won't reach, and it's through towards Fabio.
Well, Luke, I think one of the things we've seen with Chelsea throughout this tournament, new prospects, integrated opportunities, but also for Chelsea handling the responsibility of carrying possession and the game, quite frankly, over the course of 90 minutes. And right now, Fluminense, technical ability on the ball is obvious, but in transition moments, can they pick the pocket of this Chelsea midfield? Something we haven't seen other than maybe a couple times in this first 22 minutes. Very dominant start from Chelsea.
The only exception to teams scoring first, not advancing, was in the Al Hilal Manchester City game, where Manchester City got the opening goal and got knocked out. Guga through the midfield for John Arias. Rene down the left as Gusto goes across to defend.
Chelsea is just not afraid to go man-to-man in these build-out moments. Good decision right here from Rene.
Rene coming inside to get on the ball there as it's played back by Thiago Santos. Down the left side, that ball from John Arias cut out. Chelsea looking to be in control at the moment.
Well, similar to what we saw in the first 45 minutes against Al Hilal, John Arias struggling to find the ball. And when he does so, he's got the freedom in the setup from Renato Gaucho to really start roaming and find those free spaces where he can be at his best, and that's dribbling at a defender on his heels.
Enzo Fernandez, wonderful crossfield ball. He played back into the middle, comes towards Nkunku. Guga gets it away. Moses Caicedo in with a strong challenge, and the free kick is given.
It's got to be so frustrating for Fluminense. The moment that they think they have a transition moment, Caicedo and Enzo just close down, front and back, and the speed in which they do is terrifying. It's a dynamic duo in the heart and soul of this Chelsea midfield. Pedro Netto still unhappy about the bump he took from Guga on this sideline.
Thiago Silva turns it back to Fabio. And he's looking for Cano, just short of halfway. Won by Tosin in the air. Challenge from Enzo Fernandez. Bernal tried to get there, but Cole Palmer was first to the ball. Then Fluminense able to bring it away, and Nonato is fouled.
Well, not only the bench, but Nonato also wants a conversation about persistent infringement at this stage, and I know it's early in the match. But Chelsea is doing a phenomenal job of walking in that gray area of professional foul, tactical foul. It's breakup artistry at its best and taking away any transition moment for Fluminense.
Cucurella on halfway. Lovely little flick towards Cole Palmer from the goal scorer, João Pedro, who will now press on Fabio. Rene down the left side. Moses Caicedo gets there in the challenge, but Bernal able to bring it clear here. Nonato, support coming from Guga down the right touchline. Chelsea looking to bolster their attack with the off-season additions of Liam Delap and now João Pedro. This is Hercules. Hercules linking up with Cano. Hercules continuing to chase. It's cleared off the line. Is it by Cucurella? It did not cross the line. The referee confirms that as Fluminense go close to leveling things up here. Ignacio striding forward, but the challenge coming in, winning it back, and Nkunku has it here for Chelsea. Hercules, who has scored in back-to-back games, heavily involved as Fluminense get their first real chance 25 minutes in. But here come Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez running forward. Couldn't find Cole Palmer. Chelsea yet to concede a first-half goal in the tournament.
It's not a good look. Enzo down and holding his head, so the immediate attention from the referee and the need for the medical staff of Chelsea to sprint out on the field to assess him immediately. Transition moments is what we've talked about from the opening whistle, but watch the responsibility of Cucurella. That is absolutely brilliant from Marc Cucurella to protect his goalkeeper's back shoulder. Any defender at the highest level will understand the moment that his goalkeeper vacates the space. The responsibility of the furthest defender off the back shoulder is to make sure that those type of balls don't cross the end line. Hercules, after goals against Inter and Al Hilal, almost got another against Chelsea. What a brilliant moment from the Spanish international.
Hercules with the opportunity to make his 6th appearance of the tournament. Started the first 3, came off the bench in both of the knockout games. Well, the zone brings you another blockbuster boxing fight. Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois facing off again for the undisputed heavyweight title in London on July 19th. You can buy now on DAZN.com. Well done, João Pedro, with the only goal of the game so far. It came 18 minutes in from a player who just a week ago was on his summer vacation in his home country of Brazil, in Rio, trying to keep fit while he worked out where he was going to play his football. Not only does he come in having impressed in his first appearance off the bench for Chelsea in the last round, but makes his first start, scores 18 minutes into it, and does so against the club where he came through as a boy.
Yeah, we take a look. His goal line technology, no goal. Great read from Marc Cucurella. Listen, Luke, life works in mysterious ways. And had it not been for Liam Delap unnecessarily giving the referee a verbal barrage to be shown yellow, I'm not sure João Pedro is starting this match. And if it wasn't for Nicholas Jackson to pick up an unnecessary red card after 4 minutes coming on against Fluminense, or excuse me, against Flamengo, it's not for this opportunity from João Pedro. Worth every penny in the start, 18 minutes in. His first against his boyhood club to pick out our post side net. An extraordinarily well-taken goal from a technical aspect.
Well, Chelsea have won 12 of their last 14 matches in all competitions. The only 2 defeats in that time against Flamengo on match day 2, and a 2-0 loss at Newcastle in the Premier League on May the 11th. Up against a Fluminense side unbeaten in the last 11 matches. 5 clean sheets in the last 7. Just short of the half-hour mark. The cooling break is over at MetLife Stadium.
Yeah, it gives an opportunity for both sets of players to have a conversation with the manager and get some liquid, no doubt about it. The heat and humidity of Eastern Coast right now is, listen, we're sweating up here in the booth, Luke. So for these players right now, it's an opportunity to get the small little conversations in. And the cooling break certainly helping Fluminense against Al Hilal. And those were the moments where Thiago Silva convinced the manager to go to a back 4 and change the system, which ultimately saw out that 2-1 win against the Saudi side.
Good defending there from Chalobah. Trevor Chalobah, 25-year-old, made his England debut just before the Club World Cup back on June 10th in the 3-1 loss against Senegal. João Pedro putting pressure on here as Fabio clears towards halfway. Caicedo. And now Cole Palmer.
There's a lot of rotations in possession right now happening for Chelsea. Very distinctive, the back 3 anchored with Cucurella to the left. Malo Gusto all the way pinched up very, very high in that upper left-hand corner for switches like this.
Gusto onto that one against René down the far side. João Pedro couldn't get there. Challenge coming in from Thiago Santos, and then well defended by Chalobah, who plays across to Tosin.
So much intelligence with the way Trevor Chalobah recognizes if that ball gets into space, Arias has the burst to create a troublesome moment.
Palmer running at René, and out it goes for a Chelsea throw. Chelsea's first game here at MetLife in this tournament. Fluminense started the tournament with their first 2 matches here, a 0-0 draw against Dortmund, 4-2 win against Ulsan.
Yeah, they deserve more out of that Dortmund draw. They were fantastic. I think outplaying Inter as well, Al Hilal, in the last match. They've been really, really impressive, but we knew from the opening whistle this was going to be a massive, massive test. When you talk about age, quality, and spend on this roster over the better part of the last 3 to 4 seasons.
Chalaba. All the way back from Nkunku to Robert Sanchez, the 27-year-old Spaniard. Picked up by Bernal in the midfield. Arias. Nanato with a little flick. Bernal back towards Guga. Fluminense coming into this one a little bit more, just past the half-hour mark. And Arias picking it up down the right touchline, up against Marc Cucurella. Guga making the run to the byline, and Cole Palmer tracking his run and puts that one out for a corner.
Well, defensively, it's a great tracking run from Cole Palmer because he reads the outside back run from Guga. And John Arias was just dancing. He was just waiting for that little bit of a flick to give enough time for the underlap of his right back to get forward.
Ignacio is forward. Thiago Silva is in there as well as John Arias stands over this corner. Arias with the outswinger. Good distance on that header away. Put straight back into the box and once more flick clear. Arias up against Palmer. Arias with a decent ball in towards the back post. Wonderful header away from João Pedro. A vital intervention.
Yeah, really smart his position taken against Ignacio.
Free kick here for Fluminense, just outside the left corner of the penalty area.
Well, the bench of Fluminense up in arms and having to go with the 4th official because at this point they want a yellow card shown. Mistimed, you can see the idea, nothing malicious. Arias floating this ball up, but João Pedro gets inside, takes away Ignacio. Great flick header, great awareness. Very, very intelligent decision from the 23-year-old Brazilian.
Holy smoke, penalty.
Fluminense attacking the goal behind which the Chelsea fans are standing.
Yeah, 2 yards inside their penalty spot. They're going to hold a tight line. It'll be interesting to see what the bumps and the physicality looks like from Fluminense to clear a little bit more space.
Arias and René standing over it. René's left foot
Penalty to Fluminense.
Feels for a handball, and the penalty.
Handball. For 3 points to the spot.
And it looked to be called against Trevor Chalaba. And with the laws of the game in the updated versions, handling, intentional or not, has been one of the biggest talking points specific here in the United States in the last 48 hours.
Seems harsh, mate. Seems harsh, but you know, it's
down to his
is
side.
the
The
rules.
idea of natural, unnatural. It's unfortunate. There's zero intent whatsoever.
Getting checked
That
by
doesn't
VAR.
matter. No hesitancy whatsoever to point to the spot. And in terms of this decision, is there any judgment from VAR Nicolas Gallo from Colombia that this needs to have another look over at the monitor from our referee?
The answer is yes. The video assistant referee does not think this should be a penalty. Will it be a let-off for Chelsea here with 10 minutes to go until half-time?
Wow.
Francois Letexier
It's a
coming
let-off.
to the screen. His last Chelsea game was the Champions League
penalty, mate, no
quarter-final back
penalty.
in April of
Lucky,
2023
lucky
against Real
Chelsea.
Madrid. He sent off Ben Chilwell
You
that
better
day.
score another goal
Is
now.
he going to award a penalty against Chelsea after looking at this one once more?
Yeah, Luke, it seems to come off his arm before, or does it come off his hip? Here's the judgment. Comes off
I don't
his
understand
arm.
this new
There's
rule.
no doubt
So
about that.
it looks like
There's
he's been
no
updated
motion
again.
through the ball whatsoever. And so the determination of the referee is what we'll hear right now.
It didn't take him too long looking at the screen.
Chelsea. The enemy is in a normal position, natural position. This is not punishable. I'm going to restore by Bravo. No penalty.
Well, there's the clarity from the referee.
Chalobah's rescue there. Save.
Trevor Chalobah. And that was the argument, not only of his teammates, but for him as well. As this ball comes in, arms down to his left-hand side. There's clear daylight. There's no question the ball hits his hand. But the determination laws of the game, it's judged not to be a handling situation.
Renato Gaucho, the 62-year-old Brazilian on the Fluminense bench, their head coach, not impressed at all. And some of the substitutes still deep in conversation, animated with the fourth official, just being ushered back into their technical area. But we've seen that chance for Fluminense there, and the Cucurella clearance off the line. Really, they've had the better opportunities over the course of the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, Luke, and again, I think there's such a unique conversation to handling inside the penalty area. And is it or is it not? And we see it different from national team. We see it here at the FIFA Club World Cup. It's different in Premier League versus Major League Soccer. And it's the application of the law itself, taking the words and trying to voice that then into the determination why it either is or is not. One of the most difficult things to try to explain in modern football in 2025.
Cucurella's ball forward put out with a challenge from Arias for a throw here for Chelsea.
Now we're looking for the responses. Once again, we'll take another look, and the definitively ball coming off the left arm. Now we see from the referee's view, no hesitation, immediately pointing to the spot until VAR intervenes and he decides to change his original decision.
Cucurella's header forward, headed away by Ignacio. Hercules gets a touch to it, picked up though by Nkunku. Here's Caicedo. Gusto, the 22-year-old French fullback, down that right side, finding Palmer.
I've been very impressed with possession and the control from this start for Chelsea. They've done a great job in, when it's on, speeding the game up and slowing the game down and really trying to drag Fluminense's rest defense around a little bit.
Enzo Fernandez. Nkunku towards the edge of the box. The way opening up a little bit into the feet of Fernandez. Couldn't dance his way through, and it's cleared away. Only as far as halfway, where Chalobah will keep it in play on the far side. Palmer, fifth start of the tournament. Scored against Palmeiras, just his second goal in the last 27 appearances. The other was a penalty against Liverpool on May the 4th. Here's a free kick, the foul by Hercules.
And take it for what it is, Luke, but Reece James has been warming up for the last 4 or 5 minutes, just to the right of Chelsea's bench. And maybe the assumption is we might see him for the second 45 minutes. I thought in the time that we've seen him, the couple of games for Enzo Maresca, we've seen him in a rotation of a right back that then puts him in the central part of the midfield, and then outright as one of the midfield trifecta with Enzo and Caicedo. If they can keep him healthy, what a season they could potentially have.
Lovely skill from Netto down the left side and still going before he runs into Bernal, but wins Chelsea the corner.
Now the constant conversation, which side is at his best? With a predominant left foot, loves cutting in, and we've seen multiple goals. LAFC, Benfica, Flamengo, as he cuts inside and has it on that preferred left. Today on this left-hand side, the quick little dip, scissors, and a constant threat when he's isolated 1v1 against Guga. Now we'll see the art of the potential short corner, something that Fluminense tactically is already setting up for.
This time Pedro Netto waves everybody away. Neto's ball played in, Fabio can claim.
Fabio, as he comes up, gets in amongst the trees and comes down, has embraced himself. And you can see immediately just asking for the referee to blow the whistle. Drop ball situation.
He's been with Fluminense since January of 2022. Spent 17 seasons with Cruzeiro, made almost 1,000 appearances for them. Long ball played forward by Thiago Santos.
I think people sometimes forget how many games are played in the calendar year for Brazilian football. But the simple conversation is that if he truly is indeed in the conversation to break Peter Shilton's record of matches played in a professional career, that gives you a virtual understanding of how good and consistent Fabio has been at 44 years of age.
Caicedo across to the right, and this is Nkunku. Gusto down that touchline. You talk about the number of games played in Brazil. Looked like João Pedro was just able to stay on side. Now the flag does go up. But yesterday at the press conference, Enzo Maresca was bemoaning the fact that Chelsea had played 63 games this season, and he thought that the Brazilian sides looked like they had a lot more energy. And one of the reporters then challenged Maresca and said, well, Fluminense has played 70 in the last calendar year in the same amount of time, and Maresca didn't really have an answer.
Yeah, Juan Pablo Angel talking about that in the pregame, that there's a deeper conversation there, but the understanding is that we are constantly focused on European football, specific to English football here in the United States, and sometimes we forget that the amount of games, including Copa Libertadores, Copa Sudamericana, means that in the calendar year, these teams out of Argentina and Brazil are playing significant sums of matches, similar to those that are the elites in European football.
Inside the final 2 minutes of the first half, plus time to be added on for one VAR check. A couple of injury stoppages, short though they were, and also the cooling break as well. First ever meeting between Fluminense and Chelsea in official competition for a place in the Club World Cup final. And it's played out down the right side for Guga. John Arias. Nonato. Arias down the line finds Guga, up against Cucurella, who cleared off the line to ensure Chelsea keep the advantage here. Nonato. Guga inside, looking for Arias. Caicedo got a foot to it. The referee allows play to continue. Arias has it and has Guga down the right. Hercules is in the middle. Cano there as well. But the ball stolen off Arias first time by Caicedo. Now Guga with the cross into the middle. Brought down by Hercules. Just got it caught up in his feet and driven long downfield for João Pedro to chase onto. As Thiago Silva is the first one back.
Yeah, and just a moment where you think maybe Hercules would have taken that with a second opportunity a bit differently, as opposed to trying to settle the ball inside the 18-yard box. Luke, I'm not sure if he was in an offside position anyways. They've had some half chances, and the best so far was the clearance from Cucurella off the back shoulder.
As the ball was played forward, the positioning from Thiago Silva, as you would expect from someone of his experience. But he just strolled across to get there like a classic car, vintage.
Yeah, his performances in this tournament have been timeless.
Five minutes of time being added on at the end of the first half. Bernal, his third start in a row, gives it away towards the goal scorer, João Pedro. And here's Enzo Fernandez. He's got Netto away down the left side. Pedro Netto racing into the box. Netto's ball in, blocked by Ignacio. It's out for a Chelsea corner.
As much as it is physical, it's psychological in these dying moments of the first half. A completely unnecessary turnover from Facundo Bernal. And if not for Thiago Silva, this is an opportunity and a transition moment where Pedro Netto is testing the goalkeeper and trying to make it 2-0 heading into the halftime break.
Once again, Palmer and Cucurella come across for a short corner, but Fluminense, well aware to the danger here, send three players out. Tosin at the front post, Chalobah in the mix as well. Played in, Tosin tried to get the flick, it's knotted on there by Nkunku.
That's just not good enough to end this first half. The last thing Fluminense can afford is for Chelsea to get a second. And that's just poor marking from Hercules. The number 35 had an opportunity to make it 1-1. The flip side had an opportunity to give away a 2-0 lead right before the halftime whistle. Not goal side, not touch tight. And Cuco and Malo Gusto have had two great opportunities in this first half at the back stick.
Hercules against Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez did the referee's job, pointing for the throw, and gets the decision. Enzo Fernandez, the 24-year-old Argentine who won the World Cup in 2022 and the Copa America final here in the US last year. Started both finals. Renato Gacho, the coach of Fluminense, lost in the Club World Cup final in 2017 with Gremio, 1-0 against Real Madrid. Cucurella bringing it forward over halfway. Netto down the left side. Midway through the 5 minutes being added on. Tosin. Forward for Palmer. Down by Hercules, back towards Tosin. Well, that was ambitious from Hercules, and the raised arm acknowledges, but it maybe wasn't the right execution. We should mention that the yellow card's now reset, so if anybody has already got a yellow in the tournament so far, and they get another one today, they will not be suspended for the final. So Robert Sanchez, taking his time with this, gets the whistle from the referee to move things along in the final 30 seconds or so of the first half. One by Ignacio at the back. Cucurella keeps it in play. Now Pedro losing out. Hercules and Renato, they're battling for it. This is Arias. He goes down and gets the free kick.
The tactical fouls have been brilliant. The recognition of Chelsea in moments where Fluminense can break out into transition. They've done a phenomenal job, and until the referee decides to start showing yellows, where you can see at the bottom left-hand side of your screen, Renato Gaucho, once again in disbelief that Chelsea has done everything correctly in this first 45 minutes, carrying the weight of possession. They took a half chance with a fantastic finish. Fluminense at their most dangerous in transition moments.
At the midway mark at MetLife Stadium in the opening semi-final at the 2025 Club World Cup, João Pedro's first goal for Chelsea against his boyhood club has the London side in front 1-0 at half-time.
I've said this before, just a couple of days ago, that the only team that can beat the South American teams is Chelsea.
Pedro as well. They always trying to press and get the ball back. And he's having a great first half, Netto. He's terrorizing the defender here with his tricks, with his dribbling, with his crossing. Of course, a bit of luck when you clear the ball and end up in the foot of Pedro. But after that, maybe you need to close down a bit quicker so he doesn't shoot.
Yeah, I just think that, it wasn't coincidence that Maresca decided just to put Neto on the left-hand side. He was normally playing as an inverted winger, but because of the answers of Xavier, now he feels that he's much better against Guga, and he's been having a very good game because Guga has been exposed alone the majority of the time, and Neto in a 1v1 situation, but he's been very dangerous. And the other part is turnovers. Turnovers are costing Fluminense very hard.
No, I think we spoke about Fluminense's counterattacks, but I think Chelsea's done just as well. I think again with the goal, you see Pedro Netto go down the wing and and do his thing. Playing on the left-hand side helped him out a lot, being able to be on his natural foot crossing the ball. But the goal sometimes as a defender and as a team, you have to hold your hands up and just be happy for them.
Yeah, Jimmy, quickly, biggest adjustment for Fluminense now this second half if they want to get on the score sheet.
Well, as I said, the first moment they had a chance to move the ball on the ground, 1-2, they had the opportunity to score. Just believe a bit more that you can do something in that game. Don't pay too much respect to Chelsea because they're going to punish you.
Yeah.
So believe a bit more, move the ball. I also noticed that the front players, they're not moving too much behind the Chelsea players.
Yeah.
They need to do that to explore the space.
It's going to be a fun second half. Luke and Dunny got you covered from here. We'll see you post-game.
touch in really interesting positions.
That one in his possession on the far side after Palmer's big crossed field switch. Cucurella heads forward. Cole Palmer first to react. Enzo Fernandez. Chalobah wide to the right for Gusto. Nkunku inside. Caicedo again sends Neto chasing, and Guga was able to get a touch to that one to put it out for a Chelsea throw.
Well, again, Enzo Maresca continues to just add these little nuances to possession, and as much as Nkunku's on this right-hand side, it's Enzo in the pocket with Pedro Netto providing the width on the left. It's constant overloads and width provided for Chelsea in possession.
Here's Caicedo with a chance to shoot from distance. It was always rising.
And look, here we are talking about all these pockets of overloads, and it's Cole Palmer just drifting away.
Picked up 2 yellow cards in the opening 4 games of the tournament. Had an assist on Neto's 3-1 goal against Benfica. The only Chelsea player to start all 38 Premier League games this season. Caicedo's ball forward finds Palmer. Cole Palmer across for Cucurella, who has space here. Chips that ball into the middle. João Pedro with a header. Put across by Gusto in towards the back post, and behind from Guga for a Chelsea corner on the far side.
Yeah, an important little shove at the last second from Guga, and then just make sure that he puts it out over the end line. Not sure where Enzo's hunting from behind. Really smart idea from Cucurella showing up and picking that ball up. He initially showed shot from distance, elected to clip that ball in the box, and then creating heavy traffic in front of the goalkeeper, Fabio.
This time they'll go short. With Neto finding Cucurella. Palmer. All the way back towards Moises Caicedo. 23-year-old Ecuador international. Hoisting it high. Chalobah trying to meet it. Drops towards Gusto.
Right there, Enzo. That was a deft little chip trying to set it up for a first-time left-footed volley for Cole Palmer.
Caicedo turns, finds Chalobah. Gusto down the line. João Pedro will chase. Good challenge coming in there, but picked up by Gusto, and the referee has given a free kick here. It's offside.
Well, that goes significantly back in the build-up to that early entry ball to João Pedro as he comes through and steps on the challenge. Both players just go body to body, hit the deck. Enzo Maresca has set his team up with width within the style of how Chelsea wants to play, and right now that's what's breaking down this low block of Fluminense and allowing João Pedro to pull apart the 2 center backs and create the time and space of trying to get in the shadows and drag Thiago Silva in particular around quite a bit.
One of the things Enzo Maresca talked about with João Pedro was his flexibility.
Yeah.
The fact that he can play in all the attacking positions, whether it's wide, as a straight number 9, even as a 10, if he needs to, whereas he compared to Nicholas Jackson and said, I only see Nicholas Jackson as a number 9.
And as a front runner, as a guy that with his player profile, which now leads to a really fascinating conversation of what role does Liam Delap have after coming over from Ipswich Town.
Nkunku. João Pedro. Palmer turns and finds Gusto down the right side. Nkunku Couldn't find that run down the right from Gusto, who had kept going, but it's picked up by Joao Pedro. Fernandez across to the left, it's Cucurella. Chance for a shot from distance, and he pulls it wide.
Well, this is the brilliance of the last time Cucurella found this similar spot. He showed shot, but then definitely chipped the ball back across the face of goal. There's a hesitancy as a center back. Then to wait that split second, this time, makes no mistake about it, sets himself up, just doesn't get the accuracy or the power he was looking for.
A double change is coming for Fluminense. Everaldo will be coming in. And also Keno.
Your time matters. Your peace of mind does too. At Amica, we make protecting the life you've built easier when you bundle your auto.
This afternoon as over, he's replaced in the 54th minute by Everaldo. Keno comes in, he had that goal against Ulsan, he replaces Thiago Santos. And one would assume they go to a flat back four for Renato Gaucho.
Chalobah's ball forward down the right, finds Nkunku. Chalobah. Gusto inside for Caicedo. Netto up against Guga. Netto cutting inside. Options in the middle. He's got Cucurella over there as well. Guga able to win it back, and John Arias brings it away. Sends Everaldo chasing. The striker just off the bench. Straight into the action here. Everaldo, can he get a shot away on goal? Drives it in, and Sanchez can make the save.
Well, there was a heavy collision between Everaldo and Trevor Chalobah in the center circle. It would have been really interesting had that ball found the back of the net if that was judged a foul in the attacking phase of play.
This Saturday, July the 12th, the night before the FIFA Club World Cup final, a huge night of boxing on DAZN. Shakur Stevenson putting his WBC lightweight title on the line against unbeaten William Zepeda. Also on the card, fireworks expected, Edgar Berlanga and Hamza Shiraz. Two major fights, one night, only on DAZN, and you can buy now at DAZN.com. Joao Pedro's goal the difference. He's the 10th Chelsea player to score at this tournament. 4 of Fluminense's 8 goals at the Club World Cup this year have been scored by substitutes. It was Hercules in the last game. Keno, one of the substitutes on now, down the left side, plays it in towards the edge of the box, and that's driven in by Bernal to the edge of the area. Bernal sliding in, Palmer tries to get away, managed to keep the ball, and here's Enzo Fernandez with the ball down the left side. Joao Pedro in. It's an opportunity here to make it 2. Oh, what a strike! What a match for Joao Pedro against his boyhood club. 2 outstanding finishers.
And the breakdown defensively starts with Fluminense so focused on trying to take away the transition moment of Cole Palmer. Outside right back Guga comes over, clatters. Referee plays advantage. A fantastic decision in favor of Chelsea because Joao Pedro was isolated on that far side. 1v1. Not one challenge, not 2 challenges, but a third trying to take out Cole Palmer. Referee plays the advantage. Joao Pedro, he's isolated 1v1. Big step over, inside, takes away. And that is a phenomenal finish. Gets away from the center back Ignacio. Clips the underside of the crossbar and gets his double against his boyhood club in his first start for Chelsea. What a start for Joao Pedro.
What a view from the referee cam. 2 goals worthy of any game, and they come in the Club World Cup semi-final for a man on his first start for the club. And now, a huge ask for Fluminense to deny Chelsea a place in the Club World Cup final. Goals always look better in off the bar. What a moment, what a strike.
Well, maybe a byproduct of switching the system and going to 4 in the back, but Renato Gaucho had to have risk versus reward, and the risk there was imbalance in the transition moment. Cole Palmer still having a conversation with the referee about those 3 challenges that led to that transition opportunity.
But he kept going. Yeah. It was Cole Palmer's tenacity 100%. In those challenges, and then a lovely little back flick to be able to get that ball out of trouble.
Yeah, the brilliance from Enzo.
It's a second brace in 4 matches for João Pedro. He scored 2 for Brighton against Leicester back in April.
And he's got stepped on from behind, and from the referee's perspective, Keno's made no attempt to play the ball, only to grate the back of the Achilles.
Now Chelsea are going to make a change anyway. Nicholas Jackson will be coming in.
And the final touch of the match, the goal scorer João Pedro in the 18th and the 56th. His afternoon has done, and it's the return of Nicholas Jackson after that red card 4 minutes on after coming on as a sub against Flamengo. What a performance from João Pedro.
So I've been trying to get into this on-court dinner at the Garden. I tried giving my name, nothing. Tried
Gets the ovation his performance deserves, and plenty to be excited about from Chelsea fans watching their latest acquisition, who, as we mentioned in the first half, if it hadn't been for the suspension of Delap today, probably would not have been in the side from the start.
Well, and Enzo Maresca, quite honestly, could have turned back to Nicholas Jackson even after his return from the challenge that got him a multi-game suspension in the red card against Flamengo. So Enzo Maresca once again has the opportunity to think about 3 different versions of the player that can play in the number 9 position heading into 2025-26 season.
Nicholas Jackson getting his chance for a moment of redemption, coming in here having been sent off against Flamengo. Hasn't played since until this moment. Started and scored in the Conference League final. Missed the final 2 Premier League games, suspended as well, and he'll miss the opening game of next season, a red card for violent conduct in a loss at Newcastle in May. He can't compete for the striker's spot if he's not available. So big moments here ahead for Nicholas Jackson. Keno racing into the box. Fluminense looking for a way back in. It won't come like that. Fluminense scored 2 goals in the quarter-final against Al Hilal. They scored 2 goals against Inter, despite only having 33% possession.
Yeah, for Enzo Maresca right now, probably thinking about which players he wants to get on the field and which players he wants to protect.
Nicholas Jackson trying to get in around the back there, but it's through towards Fabio. Does it look right now as if this could be a step too far for Fluminense?
Yeah, I think that was always going to be the challenge. If you're talking about value on paper, Chelsea's hovering around $1.27 billion. Flusao has done an amazing job in this tournament, specific to their performances. And they've shown all the grit, the heart, the soul, the determination that we've come to expect and that we've seen at the FIFA Club World Cup. But we always knew that this was going to be the biggest of the challenges, with the short turnaround time and maybe the lack of ability off the bench that manages what Enzo Maresca is capable of turning to.
Nicholas Jackson fouled. Ignacio with the challenge that is penalized by the referee.
Yeah, looks for the potential of Madueke to be the next player off the bench for Enzo Maresca. As the challenge across, and for Nicholas Jackson, it's not only in training sessions and finishing drills. Now it's about showing what he's capable of doing every second he's on the field. That is going to be a tremendous battle for those three players for that number 9 position.
Caicedo. Picked up by Nicholas Jackson. Here's Fernandez. Kunku down the left side, cutting in. Still support there as he gets away, and that takes a deflection on the way through, and it's out for a corner. Chelsea in control right now.
Well, a lot of questions still surrounding this young man. 27 years of age, great read right there from Thiago Silva, and that potentially adds sight line for that far post side net. Talk about legends. Cafu and Kaká here at MetLife Stadium.
Saw Fabio Capello earlier as well. Our own legends on the post-game show, Chris Richards, Dimitar Berbatov, Juan Pablo Angel, will have all of the reaction post-game for an hour following the final whistle here at MetLife Stadium. Enzo Fernandez will take this corner. Fernandez in towards the front post. Cucurella got the flick. Gusto. Now Nicholas Jackson. Fluminense getting set to make another change. They'll bring on Jefferson Soteldo, who had a short spell in Major League Soccer as a designated player with Toronto FC.
He didn't hit the tune that we expected to see in Major League Soccer. Left rather quickly in a time where Toronto FC was trying to find its feet after the departure of Tim Bezbachenko and thinking about the transition underneath Greg Vanny. But for Soteldo, little used in this tournament, especially with the caliber of player we once thought he was.
Palmer. He's got Netto to the right for support. Jackson through the middle. Palmer rolls it all the way across for Nkunku. It's a chance for a third for Chelsea. Lovely footwork. And a big clearance from Thiago Silva, the former Chelsea man, to get it away. Chelsea seemingly able to cut through at will at the moment.
A fantastic read from Thiago Silva, similar to Cucurella in the first half, protecting the back shoulder of his goalkeeper.
Jackson. Everaldo giving chase. Tosin defending. Support from Arias down the left side. João Pedro double has Chelsea in front here. Arias up against Caicedo. And here comes the change. Nenato will make way. Soteldo coming in.
Your time matters. Your peace of mind does too. At Amica, we make protecting the life you've built easier.
Soteldo, an attack-minded player. Try to get on the ball immediately to try and create something. Very disappointing spell in Major League Soccer. Palmer racing at the back-pedaling back line. Palmer cutting inside. Now Neto hoisting it towards the back post, headed back across goal by Nkunku. Ignacio high, headed away on the far side by Keno, only as far as Cucurella. Here's Gusto from distance. What about the skill from Palmer? How many turns?
Oh, he's inside, outside, a couple of croises, and he's had the vision to really open up that left-hand side for Nkunku as well as Cucurella. But Malo Gusto starting right back. He's continued to roll in centrally. And as he picks his spots and the initial clearance off the line from Thiago Silva, similar to Cucurella, just a little bit further out inside of his own 6-yard box. One of the best to play the position and timeless throughout the course of this tournament.
Noni Madueke is getting set to come in.
So Reece James as well. quiet performance on this left-hand side from Pedro Netto. And Malo Gusto's afternoon is over. Reece James will replace him on that right-hand side. Him on that right-hand side.
Enzo Maresca said that he believes that Madueke isn't distracted right now by all the noise surrounding him and his future. Potential move away from Chelsea. Arsenal being heavily linked against Palmeiras. And he puts him on once again today for the final 22 minutes or so. Fluminense getting set to make a couple more changes as well.
Yeah, it looks like the Uruguayan Canovio, who's recovered from that cheek fracture and
Do apologize, the stream is just lagging at the minute. The sound is lagging. I'll be back shortly with it.
the inside of that left foot.
In the meantime, I'll be posting the chat in the live chat, so keep an eye on that. Also, fix the stream. I said it a week ago that Chelsea is the only team that can beat the South American teams, and people will argue with me. Maresca's cracked the code.
A swing with that left arm, he's going to be shown yellow for.
I think we're back.
The free kick,
Yeah.
though, has been given the way of Fluminense for the original challenge.
There we go. Thanks for the patience there, guys.
Oh, he's frustrated and he extends that arm. It's more of a slap than an. Blow to the face and.
João Pedro's double has Chelsea under 20 minutes away from confirming a place in the FIFA Club World Cup final. Their third Club World Cup appearance. Canobio. Flag is up for offside. Chelsea winning in 2021. They beat Palmeiras in the final 2-1 after extra time. Not much doubt about the offside call.
Sanchez is booked for time wasting. Oh my god. Just play, man. You're winning. Luckily for him, it will not impact him with the finals if they do qualify for the finals.
That competition now being Thiago Silva. Canobio. Lima turning in the midfield, closed down by Enzo Fernandez.
So fresh legs and a new thought process in the attacking phase of play. Been a better last 5 or so minutes. As I say that, good possession one from Chelsea.
Nicholas Jackson running forward into the path of Cucurella. Options in the middle, and it's glanced away for a throw. Really good defending at the back.
A pinch ball in the midfield. Cucurella just buries one right across the front of the 6, and a delicate little kiss right there from Thiago Silva, alleviating the pressure from 3 players at the back door.
Reece James. He was looking for that ball forward for Palmer, but it played away by Thiago Silva. Lima in the midfield. Palmer snapping at his heels, trying to win it back. Caicedo picks up the ball, and Palmer frustrated with the referee because he gave the foul there, and Palmer points back towards the midfield as if to say, well, you didn't give anything then when it was the other way around. But here comes the cooling break. 15 minutes to go, and Chelsea heading towards a final against Real Madrid or PSG. And you can join us tomorrow for that semi-final. Real Madrid's Kylian Mbappe facing his former club PSG for the first time since leaving the club last summer. Both teams will be looking for a spot in the final, probably against Chelsea. Coverage is live, free and exclusive on DAZN from 2 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss a moment.
Yeah, you can join me as well tomorrow for this stream. Real Madrid PSG. Mbappe versus PSG. You reckon he's gonna start Mbappe or Garcia? Garcia is on his form of his life, so I think he's gonna start him. He's scoring goals, he's assisting. Mbappe is not feeling too well. So tomorrow I'll be streaming that as well. Real Madrid versus PSG.
Brought down by Enzo Fernandez. Sanchez in a fairly quiet afternoon. afternoon for the Chelsea goalkeeper. Picked up by Arias down the left side. Arias still going towards the byline. Turned around by Chalobah. Comes back for René.
That's such a great read by Reece James right there.
Been a quiet afternoon for Arias, who had such an impact earlier in the tournament for Fluminense. Integral to everything that has gone well for them here in the US at the Club World Cup. Is Enzo Fernandez wide to the left side, and Nkunku cutting in to try and beat Guga. He's got support from Cole Palmer towards the byline. Guga gets a touch, went off Palmer.
So his frustration's going to get hit a boil with some of the challenges, and the call's not going his way with this referee. But again, the byproduct of the switch and going to 4 in the back is leaving a lot of space on that right-hand side and big transition moments for Chelsea. And the feel is that very soon they could potentially get their third.
This Cole Palmer's 51st appearance of the season. 16 goals and 12 assists for the 23-year-old England international. It's Soteldo. Arias. Thiago Silva's ball forward. And now one back by Nicholas Jackson. The referee allowing play to continue. Jackson drills it into the side netting, and Palmer kicks the post. Furious that ball didn't come across to him.
Well, apologetic to Cole Palmer. It's great back press. He picks the ball up off the defender, gets his head up, and from an acute angle tries to drive low and hard to the right post. And Fabio seemingly having that covered. That draws the ire of Cole Palmer. He wants a cutback ball because he's unmarked at the top of the 6-yard box.
René away down the left side. It's out for a Fluminense throw. Madueke will take it. 7 England caps for the substitute who joined from PSV in January of 2023. 11 goals this season. That was the most of his career. Had 9 in 2 seasons with PSV. He left it for Reece James, and the referee, I think, has given a foul throw here. Two goals from João Pedro in the 18th and 56th minute. 2 really well taken goals. This is Everaldo. Soteldo on the far side, in towards Lima. Looking for Keno with the crossfield ball. It was nicely done. And then Reece James gets in there with a challenge, and Madueke gets it away here for Caicedo.
His 1v1.
Up towards Palmer.
Yeah, 1v1 defending from Reece James is outstanding.
James injured ahead of the last game. Returned to training the last couple of days and comes off the bench today. And now space down the right side. Madueke. Madueke rolls it through. Jackson takes the shot. Chelsea still looking for a third to make sure here. Ignacio. Lima turns under pressure from Fernandez. Back towards Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva returning to Fluminense last May for the first time since 2008. Won the Club World Cup with Chelsea, 18 major honours in 8 seasons with PSG. René carrying it forward. Canobio. Wide for Soteldo on the right side up against Cucurella. Jefferson Soteldo towards the byline, headed away by Tosin and behind for a corner for Fluminense. Maybe they aren't finished just yet.
Well, it's been a need down that right-hand side for Jefferson Soteldo to actually run a Cucurella, put him on his heels and see if he can get him leaning one side or the other. But this back line of Chelsea has been fantastic in the way that they've controlled the Fluminense attack from the opening whistle.
Soteldo will take the corner. The right foot outswinger set to come in. Thiago Silva is forward. Ignacio in there as well, the other central defender. In towards the... Off the head of Enzo Fernandez, drops for Keno. This is John Arias for Fluminense. And that one goes out off Moises Caicedo for a corner for the Brazilian team. A little over 5 minutes plus stoppage time remaining at MetLife. Arias standing over this one. Soteldo there for the short corner. Up against Palmer. Soteldo towards the byline. Gets a decent cross in towards the back post. And it drops down on the line. Free kick given. Thiago Silva was in there. He got ahead to it.
It was a heavy collision. At the top of the 6-yard box. Best of Everaldo. Under Santos getting set to come in.
And Kieran Dewsbury Hall as well. I think a double change coming up here for Enzo Maresca. Enzo Fernandez and Christopher Nkunku making way. Seems like it's job done for Chelsea. Andre Santos, the Brazilian-born player, 21 years old. Played 90 minutes in the quarter-final against Palmeiras on his first Chelsea start. Made his debut off the bench against Esperance. On match day 3. Comes in for the final few minutes here. The Rio-born boy against the club from Rio.
Yeah, I thought he was really good in that 90 minutes against Palmeiras. Coming on with the injury or the niggle that Rhys James picked up in pre-game warm-up that put Malo Gusto at right back and sent Andre Santos right into the heart of that midfield alongside Enzo Fernandez with Moises Caicedo out suspended.
The other player coming in, Kieran Dewsbury Hall, has a goal in the Club World Cup. Cucurella. Back it comes to Robert Sanchez. It's a throw for Chelsea, and Renato Gacho showing some frustrations on the near side here with Keno.
And right there, for some odd reason, just
game. Cucurella cleared off the line From an effort by Hercules, there was the handball that was given by the referee, Chalaba, with the handball inside the box, but the VAR asked referee Francois Letexier to come and look, and then that was overturned. But really, second half, it's been a well-managed game by Chelsea, limiting Fluminense in terms of chances on goal. They've controlled large parts of this game, haven't they?
Yeah, we knew this was going to be a huge clash between budget, strategy, and style. But credit to Fluminense for what they've done in this tournament, outlasting Botafogo, Palmeiras, and Flamengo, to go the furthest of all the Brazilian clubs in a tournament where, theoretically, we were always wondering in high-performance moments how teams would react and how teams would play, especially against some of the giants of European football. But today it was a huge test, and so far this test has been passed by Chelsea.
Moises Caicedo. Now Reece James, who's looking for the run of Dewsbury Hall down the right side. Not much doubt about the star of the show.
Yeah, what a performance that young man had. First start, 2 goals against his boyhood club, the emotion of the opportunity.
Well, one back by Cucurella. Here's Cole Palmer racing towards the edge of the box here. It's Cole Palmer off the back of Thiago Silva. Andre Santos trying to skip that challenge. Palmer looking to get some space to get a shot away, rolls it out towards Madueke on the far side. Madueke looking for Nicholas Jackson, comes all the way towards Reece James, but here's Arias. Forward for Everaldo to chase. Six minutes of time to be added on.
Well, for a pair of center backs that haven't started a single game together here at the FIFA Club World Cup, Tosin and Trevor Chalaba have been fantastic in the heart and soul of this Chelsea defense this afternoon.
Rene. Thiago Silva across the back for Ignacio. Fluminense will see their 11-match unbeaten run come to an end here. Their last loss was against Atletico Mineiro in the league back on May the 11th. Canobio. And Andre Santos goes down. He gets the free kick here from the referee.
And he gets himself a yellow card.
Ever referee to take charge of a Euro final last year. 36-year-old from France. He let a few things go early on, but settled down a bit second half.
I think as players, Luke, we love the ability to kind of operate in that gray area. And I think the referee, specific to the first 45 minutes, allowed some of the challenges that maybe we've seen in the second half that has been shown yellow. I think he's done a fantastic job, and he's done a really good job in terms of man management and communication.
Picked up here by Arias. Cucurella gets it away. Canobio from distance. It took a wicked bounce, but Sanchez able to make the save.
Well, this afternoon we talked about half chances, and you can see the idea as this ball comes out, hits it first time inside the right foot, trying to curl it past the left shoulder of Robert Sanchez.
Soteldo. Lima.
Wow.
Uga turning into touch, and Chelsea 4 minutes away from a spot in the final. Cut out there by Rene. Played forward towards Arias. Moises Caicedo came a long way quickly, but got hurt in the challenge. And Arias now looking to feed Soteldo. Soteldo's ball played in. Keno with the header. And Moises Caicedo is down on halfway. And concern here for Enzo Maresca and the Chelsea bench.
Oh, right here, watch the bump from Reece James at the last second. Keno gets the earlier of the jump, but can't generate the power, the placement,
well
nor
done,
the
Reece James.
accuracy. And just an important late jump from Reece James just to slightly change the trajectory of Keno's ability to win that header cleanly. And coming around is a big reach for Caicedo, and he just jams up and you see him pop. And that's what you never want to see. The challenge is on the right-hand side, but he's got that little skip from the left-hand side.
Moises Caicedo back into the starting lineup today after missing the last round through suspension. Scored in the Conference League final. Another one of those players who have made the move from Brighton. Caicedo did it in August of 2023. Brighton to Chelsea, a familiar pathway as we see João Pedro, who has just made the move to London. A word for the Fluminense fans who have lit up this tournament, not only in stadiums but around cities as well.
Yeah, and in a couple of these stadiums, we've seen them recreate the idea, or at least the essence of Maracanã. Flusao has been phenomenal in these 6 matches that we've seen played.
One of the real highlights of this tournament, not only seeing the different teams from around the world and how they apply themselves on the pitch, but also the way that fans from all corners of the globe have turned up to support their teams in various different ways.
Oh, what about you are right? I mean, what we saw the Saitama recreated up in Seattle, obviously with Boca Juniors, and what they did with their support specific to down in Miami. It's been incredible to see the iconic culture and just the feel of what these clubs represent, especially when you kind of hear the club's iconic songs being played inside the stadium respective to one another before the walkouts.
Moises Caicedo,
yeah, I'm not sure
off the pitch. They've used their substitutions.
Yeah, but right now up 2-0 with a minute left, I'm not even sure. And right there, Enzo Maresca, I'm not even sure it's worth getting Caicedo back on the field and risking any type of injury with the short turnaround time ahead of Sunday.
He wants to come back on. Enzo Maresca is in the ear of the 4th official, who has had a busy afternoon. Ivan Barton from El Salvador. Thiago Silva forward for Lima. John Arias. Moises Caicedo does come back in for the final few seconds here. Ugas ball forward. Tosin chasing across to defend against Everaldo. Into the path of Soteldo against Cucurella. Is there a consolation here for Fluminense? And overhit by Soteldo, out of play for a throw, and that should just about be it. Chelsea leading by 2 goals to 0. 6 minutes of stoppage time has elapsed. Reece James with the throw, deep by his own corner flag. Fabio away. Ignacio. Guga wide towards Soteldo. Under pressure there from Madueke. Lima looking to get the ball out to the right side. Canobio has it as the referee allows play to continue for a few more seconds here. Canobio down the right side, up against Cucurella. Support there from Soteldo. Flipped in by Soteldo. Everaldo! He tried the spectacular. It didn't quite come off. And Caicedo is down again.
Finish this game, man. It's over. It's over. They can't score 2 goals. No way they're going to be able to score 2 goals or whatever.
But again, beautiful interpretation of the moment right there from Everaldo.
There can only be a matter of a few seconds remaining here. But Caicedo needs more treatment, having tried to come back on. This is the venue that will host the World Cup final next year, and the Club World Cup final this coming Sunday.
that stadium looks crazy, bro. Looks mad. It looks terrifying as well.
Chelsea with goals in each half. Will be another clean sheet here. A third of the tournament, a second of this tournament for Robert Sanchez, the Chelsea keeper, who missed one of the group games. And this time, there will be no return for Caicedo. Sanchez will take the goal kick. And still no final whistle just yet. Out for a throw here for Fluminense. Thiago Silva takes it in towards Lima. Lima through the middle. Arias looks to turn. Support from Keno down the left side, up against Reece James and Dewsbury Hall here. Keno's ball in. Rene tries to switch it across towards Jefferson Soteldo. Cucurella across defending. And Soteldo went down, but didn't get the free kick and is still going on the far side. Madueke coming across with the challenge, but this is taken quickly. Canobia hooks it in, couldn't find Everaldo. Cleared away as far as Lima on the edge of the area. Skips the first challenge. Can he get the shot away? Lima!
The Chelsea defenders continue to ask for the final whistle from our referee. Another half chance. Lima can't keep it on frame, similar to an earlier opportunity he had right around the 80th minute mark. Shuffles his feet, gets away from closing defenders, and never from a moment coming off his laces did that have a chance to really test Robert Sanchez.
The final whistle goes. Chelsea are headed to the FIFA Club World Cup final. They'll play either Real Madrid or Paris Saint-Germain. On Sunday. The hero against another of the European giants. Will it be the European champions Paris Saint-Germain, or will it be Real Madrid? We will find out tomorrow when the second semi-final is played right here at MetLife Stadium. Stay with us, there's a full post-game show on the way. Lauren Jabara alongside Dimitar Berbatov, Chris Richards and Juan Pablo Angel. Joao Pedro with a double. His first start for Chelsea and making an incredible impact as he sends them through against Chelsea.
Right, so that brings us to the end of this stream. Thank you so much for staying with us and watching or listening to the commentary. Tomorrow we'll be back for the Real Madrid game. Chelsea, congratulations. They hate watch didn't pay off. But I've said it. A couple of days ago that Chelsea was the only team that can beat South American teams. So they've done it time and time again, and they show that they're capable of winning this competition now. And I've got my money on Chelsea to win it. got much money on Chelsea to win it. Um, well, to be honest with you, actually, I'll take that back because if PSG goes through to the finals, I think PSG will beat Chelsea. But if Real Madrid goes through, Chelsea will be Real Madrid. So I'll put PSG first, Chelsea second, and Real Madrid third to win it. So we'll see what happens. I said it last week that Maresca, I do apologize again to Maresca because I used to call him a championship manager. The guy is actually a good manager. He's a good coach. Maresca is a good coach. He's ruthless, but he's a good coach. He gets you the results and he gets you playing really well. Jackson, I think it's about time Jackson needs to pack his bag and leaves. He needs to pack his bags. He needs to find himself a new club because Pedro is not playing around. He's not messing about. The lap will probably be again ahead of Jackson. Mikel Obi, it's got his wish. But Chelsea, yeah, I said it. They're the only team that can crack this South American teams. I think it's about time you lot start giving South American football the credit it deserves, because there are more Brazilian players on that pitch tonight than any other where else you can think of. Or more South American players play in this competition, and they've showed that they're players. The funny thing, when we sign them from South America, we call them flops. But look at them. Look at the way they play. Even Fluminense, look at their players. They're good players. About time start giving them credit. About time start watching those leagues more and more to identify which players could play for your team. But fair play to Chelsea, fair play to Maresca. Congratulations and commiseration to Fluminense, and better luck next time. But Chelsea actually have been really lucky against South American teams because they won in 2021 against, I think, was it Palmeiras? They won it against. But congratulations again, Maresca. Congratulations, Chelsea. You've cracked the code. You know what to do. You know how to win this competition, and go ahead and win it. Do the Premier League proud. Otherwise, you're gonna start telling us it's a Farmers League. We don't want to hear that excuse. All these teams that play tonight, or the fourth team there, they're not from a Farmers League. PSG, world-class players, top team. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Join me tomorrow in that live. The hate watch didn't pay off. I said he's absolute top midfielder, man. Jesus Christ, the guy was all over the place. But thank you again for watching. This is one of the biggest streams. We're looking at, what is it? Just over 1,000 people checked in. 1,261 and counting. Thank you for watching. So this is probably one of the biggest streams I've done. Thank you. Jackson has to go. It's sad. United, maybe come to United, but I think it's just his behavior. James, you said that boss player. Jackson has to sit up. It's literally the guy is just, he needs to control his brain. Some managers will love a hot-headed, I can't even say the word. Will love a player like Jackson. They'll love a player like Jackson because they don't. It's unpredictable, right? You don't know where it's gonna get you. But eventually, when he meets the right manager, he'll be able to play well and manage his behaviors and stuff like that. But again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for interacting. Jamos, thank you for interacting there. Thank you for your input. I appreciate that. Please drop us a subscribe. Please subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up. Comment. Share. Whatever you want to do with it, feel free to do that. Give us feedback in the comment section. No feedback is bad feedback. I want as much feedback as possible so I'll be able to improve these streams moving forward. Coming to the new season, I'll be able to stream more and more games, share more and more games. Well, Sky is showing about 280 something games next season. So I'll be able to, I should be able to stream many of those games next season. Many of those games. So for across the world, wherever you are, please subscribe to this channel. Please leave us a thumbs up. Give us feedback in the comment section. Share some of our videos. We'll definitely improve next season. Or game by game, we'll improve. Alright. But yeah, we can't compete with the big boys there. But yeah, we're coming. Investing enough time here to give you guys some of the best streams, commentary, live commentary. You can hear it, but thank you for watching again. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing the stream. One of the biggest streams we've done, 1,272 and counting. And that would have been possible without you guys watching it or just passing by or just checking in. Please leave us comments, feedback in the comment sections of the videos. We'll be back. We'll improve this stream. You'll get better, right? Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you tomorrow for the Real Madrid game. And South America football should be proud of yourself. Every team that took part in this competition, all of you guys, you've done yourself proud. But it shows the quality of the Premier League and the quality of the European football. But again, I say that, but it's the South American players that make up these teams. So we'll say the quality of the Premier League, but it's actually more South American players. You look at the Chelsea team, they have more South American. The top players there, they're all South Americans. So again, if they win it, it's South America that wins it. So fair play to them. Credit to you guys. Thank you for producing the players you guys are producing and giving us in the Premier League. So see you guys tomorrow for the Real Madrid game. Sharp. Peace out.